Okay, we got It's Like the Game Industry Wants to Fail from your boy Legendary Drops. Live right now, maybe. Okay, what's going on?
I'm going to try to keep it together here. Just last year, Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox, stepped forward to say that increasing prices over $70 would be manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to say anything more? Do
No.
not trust these people. And please stop defending them. Xbox was the last company that I would have expected to join the price hike club. Because while I will largely applaud them for getting rid of console exclusivity, I think that that's generally a good thing. And I know that there is a broader strategy to these price increases. It still doesn't make sense. Not from a player's perspective, and definitely not even from a business perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of a couple of decent games, Xbox first-party titles just aren't good. People
I mean, cause yeah, like, what do we have for Xbox? Halo, Gears, Fable. Well, like, wait. Let me see. What are the Xbox exclusive IPs? Halo. Okay, I can get behind Halo. Forza. Niche. Gears. Sure. Along with more recent titles like What? Starfield's only on Xbox. Well, that's a dud. Avowed also a dud. Psychonauts 2. Fable. Yeah, it's not looking too good. They got Halo, which is looking like it's destined to fail, even with the newly made Halo Studio, which has taken all the developers from, or not all, but like over half of the developers from 343. So it's not even like a new studio when most of the developers are like coming from the same studio that made Halo, all the modern day Halos, which nobody liked.
are not going to be lining up to spend
Yeah.
$80 on an Xbox game right now.
Nope.
You might get a handful, but not nearly as many as you're going to need. And it feels like every single time they go to pick up a publisher or a studio, they find a way to
Even my friends that have kids, I tell them do not get consoles. I tell them to get computers for their kids. You're gonna do them so much more help. You're gonna help them so much more if you tell them to get computers. It's just a better platform. It's just all around better.
ruin it in one way, shape, or form, except for Activision Blizzard King. And, well, you can't necessarily ruin what is already effectively video game Satan, so there you go. You don't have the faith of the vast majority of players that play video games today. You are the weakest of the three platform holders. You are
Ooh,
years behind in console sales. And you're
weakest.
increasing prices across the board. What are you doing?
I don't know. They're just like, what is it called? The last like grasping throes of a dying chunk of a corporation, just trying to keep up.
I know what you're doing. You're terrified because Xbox, like all of these other companies, have built their castles on sand. And because of rising development costs, because you guys consolidated your industries overseas and now are threatened by tariffs, because piracy is on the rise,
Mm-hmm.
because indie developers are putting out breakout hits.
Piracy is on the rise. That's kind of funny because I think what is happening right now with like most people that play games, they're either playing some sort of like mobile game or they're simply playing like a single like live service game that they play day in day out, or they're just not like if they're gonna buy like a new game, like they're only gonna buy like one or two new games a year. That's what's happening. They're mostly playing like older games, stuff that's on sale, or if your platform even offers like sales or whatever. I mean, in the case for Xbox, I mean, like there's been probably been like a ton of people like getting that like Game Pass thing, right? Why would you buy a game when you can just sub to Game Pass?
Because the EU Commission is now targeting microtransactions. The tide is coming in, and you're all about to be washed out.
Well, here, quick question, because I don't have Game Pass. What are the tiers? What are the tiers of Xbox Game Pass? Because I know there's tiers. What's like the normal one that like everyone has? A Game Pass Core, Standard, Ultimate. Has console, curated library, member discount. This tier Core plus hundreds of high quality console games, including new releases on day one. So so Standard is probably like the norm, and then Ultimate is like, what is this dog shit? Online multiplayer, EA Play, cloud gaming, and other perks. Wait, so do you have to get Ultimate to play online? What is this little infographic? What is this? Open image in new tab. Okay. Online multiplayer on consoles. Why is this Xbox Game Pass on PC? Oh, because it's PC. Okay. So Core is like, no. Game Pass Standard. Wait, what? So, what? Do they literally just pedal Ultimate? Play new games on release? So I guess Ultimate is like the normal one, more or less, that they like try to. Okay, so how much? So now I ask, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, how much a month? Let's figure this out. I can't just get an answer, Google. Where's a price? Why am I? Oh my god, this is so like. Hoy, where's like AI? Help me, AI. $20 a month. Okay, that's all I wanted. Jesus Christ, Google. Okay, so let me see. So if you subscribe to Ultimate a month, so about $20 plus tax, whatever. I'm just gonna use 20 times 12, 240. 240 total. So games are going up. Digital is going to be 80, 90 physical. But that's a Nintendo thing. I don't know if Xbox is going to do the same thing. On average, how many new games do you think a gamer gets per year? 2, 3? So if you feel that you get more than 2 or 3 games a year, simply just get Xbox Ultimate Game Pass. But if you get less than 2 or 3, maybe you buy the games just outright.
Initially through GameStop, Xbox announced price hikes across the board, increasing the price of digital games up to $80 starting next year, and increasing the price of their hardware and accessories anywhere from $20 to $30 to even charging $729 for the Xbox Series X 2 terabyte console.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. That's crazy, dude. At that point, just save up like some more money and just get a computer. Like this absolute refusal to just get like a pre-built computer is like hilarious. Like they're not that complicated. Like pre-built computers are better than ever nowadays. You actually get a lot of bang for your buck.
More expensive than the PlayStation 5 Pro. Pricing yourself higher than your competition who's outselling you 3-1 is a bold strategy and not one that I was expecting. At the end of my Oblivion video, I had said I don't trust these companies to make smart choices, and I hate being right. At first, I thought Xbox was pricing the Oblivion remaster at $50 as a direct response to Nintendo increasing their prices and dropping their Zelda remaster at $90. And honestly, I still think it was. Asmongold nailed it on Twitter. He said that 2025 and 2026 will be the years of remasters and remakes, cheap to create compared to a new game, quantifiable existing audience, boost visibility for upcoming titles, Gears of War E-Day, little to no risk of controversy or boycott, literally the easiest W in the industry.
Yeah, I probably agree. If you're looking to get like a brand new game, this is probably not the year. 2025, 2026. It's the year of the remake.
Right now. Honestly, I cannot believe that this guy can find time to post industry insights while also doing home improvement.
Oh, wow.
But honestly, he's not wrong, especially when that remaster is as transformative as Oblivion's, and especially if it's priced fairly. New releases are a minefield right now, plagued by creative missteps, content that nobody asked for, and player backlash. So returning to the past makes sense. Players want something familiar, something proven. Reviving these beloved games with modern upgrades is a great way to answer that call while avoiding any backlash that's been plaguing a lot of these new IPs and modern releases. Though Oblivion censorship has raised some eyebrows.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing with the Oblivion censorship is like they took some of the statues or some of the armors and they either made the boobs smaller or made the armor like more covered up, like cover up the body more.
But the part that has been glossed over, the part that deserves a little bit more attention here, is that this isn't just a visibility boost. It's Xbox clawing back into relevance. These aren't just nostalgic remasters. These are cultural recall grenades. And with the $40 Gears of War remaster seemingly aiming at the exact same level of quality.
Bro, I cannot wait to play this. Gears of War Reloaded, Gears 1. Oh my god. Do I have that shit on Steam? Let me see. Well, I don't think there's shit here. Oh, what is my wish list? Do I have that shit on there? Yeah, a bunch of random ass shit waiting to go on sale. Actually, I don't. What? Should I just put it on there? I think I should. Gears of War Reloaded. View page. Add to wish list. Done.
As the Oblivion one, Xbox has found a strategy that actually makes sense. Cost-effective, high-quality reminders of what the brand used to be and used to stand for. These games aren't locked behind exclusivity either. They're multi-platform, meaning that Xbox gets to reintroduce itself to players they've either lost or never had. And I'll be honest, I think this is smart. But here's the problem. It completely undercuts their justification for the price hikes everywhere else.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Xbox is the last company that should be selling $80 games. Their recent titles have not earned it. When I think of an $80 game, I could maybe spend that on Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Armored Core 6, games that gave me something complete, something
Oh yeah, would you pay like $80 for Avowed, Starfield, whatever other slop that came out? Hell no.
Real. I'm not thinking Halo Infinite, Avowed, or Starfield, and sure, that's subjective, but it's also about standards. Larian, Warhorse, From Software, they're not milking players through microtransactions. They're not nickel and diming people with battle passes and half-baked launches. They sell you a game. That's it. Now, Xbox, on the other hand, survives off of the back of Call of Duty microtransactions and reoccurring subscription revenue. Their games have not hit.
Is this like a thing for Call of Duty? Oh my god. Jay and Silent Bob. Wow. They are really trying to read the minds of their audience, which is like actually insane if you think about it. Like, oh, we got so many statistics about you you didn't even know we had. We know all your tendencies. We know what you like. We know what you don't like. It's the same thing with Blizzard, them doing that dopey little Berserk collab. Like, yeah, I like Berserk, but not the way that they're doing it. I don't want D4 doing a like a Berserk collab. I want PoE doing a Berserk collab.
Their platform sales are down, and now with the excuse of Nintendo.
And who the fuck is like no knock on like the guys like these guys, but like I remember when these movies came out like so long ago. Like who's getting this? Because it's like a stoner movie. Are literally the only people that play this game stoners. That's the reason why they had that little Cheech and Chong collab and like the pot gun. Oh my god! Like, what kind of message are you sending to like the greater game industry or just like your player base? Oh, we know you guys smoke. You guys want some pot smoking reference characters in the game. You want to give us more money?
Nintendo increasing their prices to $80, opening the floodgates. Xbox is the first in line to raise their prices across the board. Games, hardware, all of it. It doesn't feel strategic. It feels desperate. I mean, just last year, Phil Spencer said that raising prices beyond $70 could become manipulative. In his words, we went through COVID. We found more ways of getting more money per player. I think that at some point you reach the peak of that. And frankly, it could go to places that are manipulative. And I'm not a big fan of that. Then Microsoft would then go on to record $94 billion in profit. They would then double their growth. Their valuation hits $3.4 trillion. And suddenly we are expected to believe that they have to increase prices because of rising development costs and economic uncertainty.
Yeah, that's a load of horseshit. This is the case of fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's the case. You guys have like done all of that bullshit once, because nobody has ever seen that type of what, I don't know, what do you call it? Marketing manipulation, microtransaction bullshit. Now that you have done it once, you're not going to be able to do it again. You're not going to be able to replicate it again. And that's the funny part about that evaluation. Yeah, we're just going to copy and paste that same formula and get up to like $3 trillion in the upcoming years, guys. Yeah, nobody will like get older. Nobody will get smarter. Nobody will become an educated consumer at all.
Snakes in the grass slither fast. I said this in my Oblivion video, and I'm going to say it again. Xbox may be the weakest platform right now, but that's exactly what makes them the most dangerous. With Game Pass and cross-platform releases, they can undercut their competition on their competition's own platforms. But instead of using that power to offer better value, they're just hiking their prices like everyone else. They issued a statement saying, "We understand that these changes are challenging, and they were made with careful consideration given market conditions and the rising cost of development." Sure, careful consideration. Until you realize the whole thing is just them passing the buck to the players. You know, everybody wants to pin these price hikes on the US trade war, and while that might be an agitator, I'm not buying it. Xbox is behind in the console race. You really don't think that there isn't a stockpile of unsold hardware somewhere? That Xbox that you're buying off the shelf right now wasn't made yesterday. It was made months ago. If these tariffs were such a serious issue, they could just slow down production, stagger the releases. Hell, with the profits that they're pulling in, they could eat the costs and not even feel it. But they won't.
Yep, they could. It's really funny. Because this is like a thing that is kind of done in sports, in terms of like, this is like a concept that kind of goes along the line of like trying to figure out like what the meta of a sport is, or trying to figure out the new hottest way to cheat and not get caught is. The saying, what's the saying? I forgot how it goes, but it had something to do with sports. But it's like, if you have like a bunch of teams in a sport, and then you have like the one championship team. Okay, they won the championship last year. If all the other teams, if all they ever try to do is just copy that team, everybody else will simply be behind in terms of understanding like the meta of the sport, you know, where you can like nickel and dime and get a plus little 1% here and there. That's what it feels like Xbox is doing. You know, yeah, they have like a very good like monetization model around like Xbox Game Pass or whatever. But the whole price hike of like $80 for games, and then subsequently, you know, they're going to increase the price of Game Pass. But like, how much do you think it's going to get raised to? Is it going to be like up to 25? Or is it going to get raised to 30? I don't know. Them trying to like follow along Nintendo is kind of signifying to me that they have no idea what they're doing. They're just trying to look the same and just blend into the bell curve of like what the industry is doing. And when I see stuff like that, I'm like, okay, you guys are like have no idea what's going on.
Won't, because tariffs are just a convenient scapegoat. And even if they were rescinded tomorrow, these prices would stay the exact same. What absolutely drives me up the wall is how
Yeah, and also, how do tariffs affect a digital product? Aren't tariffs supposed to like affect physical products because they have to physically be shipped? How does it affect a digital product? Maybe I'm just like in the dark on this one, and I'm just completely ignorant, unknowing at all. But that doesn't logic. Like, how is it more? How are you going to add a tariff to like a digital product and a digital product be affected by a tariff? It's digital.
Transparent this whole thing is. These price hikes are a direct consequence of poor planning. Rising costs wouldn't be a factor if you hadn't bet your entire hardware operation in one country. If it wasn't for tariffs, it would have been something else. Supply chain failure, political unrest, a factory fire. These are self-inflicted wounds. So why is this happening? Why are all of these companies hiking their prices, slashing jobs, and trying to gaslight us into thinking it's all for our benefit? Well, the real answer is investor pressure. That's it. Gaming has become a hotbed for investors. It's not like traditional industries. Once hardware is out of the way, it's pure margin for the most part. No factories, no trucks, no physical goods, just code. And once they got your attention, they can sell you the exact same pixels over and over again. That's what they're protecting. Not the cost of development, but the rate of return. Live service games have become the golden goose in this industry. Infinite growth, infinite spend. You don't need to sell a game anymore. You sell a lifestyle. Look at Take-Two. Their entire business is propped up by two things: GTA Online and NBA 2K's microtransaction economies. EA, the same thing. FC, formerly FIFA, Madden, Apex Legends, 3 live service ecosystems that print money daily. Activision Blizzard, the only reason that they were worth $70 billion for Microsoft was because of World of Warcraft and Call of Duty. No innovation, no creativity, just predictable revenue.
Which is kind of crazy to think about. The only things keeping Blizzard alive is WoW and COD. That's insane, dude. Both, like the WoW subscription model and what? Call of Duty skins? Jesus Christ, man. Like with all of these things like being put into play, it's like it kind of like signals to me that there is an incredibly, I don't even know if it's a small, there is just a niche of people that literally enjoy eating dick salads all day, and no matter how good or bad the product is, they will just always buy whatever is just served to them, which is kind of like concerning, because I was kind of like that when I was a kid, but like the older I, as time goes on, the older you get, the more educated you get a little bit. But there's no way I would like pay, like just let my WoW subscription go if I am not playing the game. Or get like, oh, a new Call of Duty skin comes out, I automatically buy it just because it's new. Jesus.
And it's that predictable revenue that has completely warped the conversation around development costs. We keep hearing about how games are more expensive to make than ever, but what they won't say out loud is they are the ones who made it that way. You do not get to cry poor after making billions of dollars in revenue, hiring thousands of people across a dozen studios, scaling up to unsustainable sizes, and then acting shocked when your overhead crushes your margins. GTA 6 is the perfect example. That game is taking longer to develop than every GTA combined.
Are you serious? The gap between GTA 5 and X1 now be longer than it took Rockstar to make every single GTA game prior to GTA 5. What? First one. Okay. Next year, nothing. Next year. Okay, you got a couple. Next year, nothing. Next year, 3. And then year over year, it's like new GTA or some spinoff. 90. So this is about 10 years. 11, 12. And 09. So 12 years. Bro. A Ballad of Gay Tony. Bro, I forgot about that. Oh my god. There's no way a title would be like that would be able to like rock nowadays. That's so funny. Gay Tony.
That's not because of creative ambition. It's because the machine behind it has become bloated, inefficient, and addicted to scale. That's not spending smarter. That's spending more. And they're expecting us to pay for it. What makes this all the more frustrating is that this industry is not struggling. Not even close. The last 30 years have been defined by record-breaking profits year over year over year.
50 years of video game revenue. At some point, there's probably got to be some like plateau, right? Surely there will be some plateau. Bro, that's crazy. The arcade boom. What we got? Street Fighter 2. Oh my god. Steam. Handheld. Oh my god, console. Oh my god, consoles are just dying. Oh Jesus. Everyone's on mobile and PC and handheld. Oh, that's so funny.
Year. Xbox just had its best year ever. None of these companies are tightening their belts. Their executives aren't taking pay cuts. There's no scaled back bonuses, just mass layoffs and price hikes because they want to keep the party going at the top while cutting off everything else or just making you pay for it. And that's the thing that they don't want you guys to think about. This isn't about inflation. It's not about tariffs. It's not about rising development costs. It's about control. Xbox wants these price hikes. Ooh, they want them badly because if they can make traditional gaming so financially exhausting, $80 games, $700 consoles, $100 accessories, so they can herd their players towards services that they can control. Live service games, free to play, Game Pass, cloud gaming, controlled storefronts, closed ecosystems, the long game.
My personal opinion is that I think live service games have probably plateaued in terms of just overall like profit growth or whatever. Like if a game is going to come out and it declare itself being like live service, it's unless it's like so innovative, it's like mind-boggling, it's probably not going to like do good, dude. It's just not.
They're just trying to boil the frog. These guys aren't even competing with each other anymore. It's so transparent. Microsoft buys Activision for $69 billion. Sony buys Bungie for $3.6 million. These aren't random events. These are symptoms of a market consolidating so aggressively that there is no pressure to undercut each other. No official collusion, just a shared understanding that if they all raise prices together, the customer will have nowhere else to go. And the worst part is...
What's that thing in the movie? Together, ape, strong. That's what they're all doing. Like Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, just like put all the sticks together. Together, ape strong.
Part is they're doing it like it's going to benefit the industry in some way. They blame global instability, rising costs, economic pressure, but they're just using it as a smokescreen to justify whatever their next gamble is, the next experiment. All of it, every last move is designed to shift the cost of their mistakes onto you. This isn't a strategy, it's survival. It's desperation that's dressed up in a suit and tie. And the more they raise the floor, the more players are going to start looking for the exit. Man, Xbox really loved that quote from Ubisoft. Players need to get comfortable not owning their games. They thought to themselves, that's a strategy. That's a plan we can get behind. Let's make the market so uncomfortable for players to own anything, to own games or to own hardware, that the low income and middle income customers are likely to take the bait and go for Game Pass or go for cloud gaming or any of these other subscription services. Because why would I pay $80 when I could pay $20 a month and play all of these games rather than just get one little measly game? I mean, these services are so fair. They're so cheap. They're so effective.
Which is actually crazy when you put it like that. You make every individual game so expensive that this whole subscription model is just, you can't avoid it anymore. It's like, oh my god, all of this shit is too expensive. I have to subscribe. I have to subscribe, man.
Until next year or the year after that, where because of rising development costs and economic uncertainty, the price has to go up by $10 or $15. But don't worry, because just like Netflix, we have an option for you price-sensitive customers. Game Pass Basic with ads. PlayStation Plus Basic with ads. Ubisoft Basic with ads. Then after that, they're going to start selling you frame rates and resolution. We've seen this happen.
Bro, no way are they going to sell you frame rates and resolution. Well, they already kind of do that. Like Amazon does that with like their standard definition and high definition.
Happened before. Like, I don't understand how people think that this isn't going to happen. I've had people push back on it. That's not what's going to happen. What? Are you stupid?
They already do that, though.
You deserve to pay these prices. Gaming is slowly being monetized into a hellscape like every other industry that's out there. And it's all to attract more investors. Notice how every single year they have to break record profits.
Yeah.
Higher and higher and higher and higher without ever trying to lower their floor. The funny thing is, this isn't like any other industry. We have options. We can go anywhere else that we want to. Hell, we're not even buying most of your games to begin with.
Yeah. Fuck you, consoles. I'm gonna go play Steam. How about that? Oh, it's so glorious.
I don't think that they understand how much trouble that they're in right now. Because, one, I don't even think players are going to buy into this. I'm sure that there's going to be some people that are going to hop on the train of some of these bigger games that are going to come out that we know for a fact are actually good. And if it's $80, people will still pay for it. But for the most part, when I talk to other people about these price changes, when I see my YouTube comments or I see things that people say on Twitter, it's apathy more than anything else. They don't care. Okay, I wasn't going to buy it anyway. That's the attitude that I'm seeing. I mean, all of this price pressure that we're seeing right now is coming from AAA, which nobody's really buying right now. Sure, a couple of those games are doing well, but the vast majority of them are not. Why?
And this is like a hard thing to convey to the people that are in charge of making the end-all be-all decisions. That, again, I have to bring up the concept of something, nothing, and then there's the thing that doesn't even go in either of them. Okay? You can either like the price hikes, but I mean, like, who's like over here trying to defend all the corporations and shit? Like, it's consumers versus creators or investors, I'll say. You have the consumers, they want more for less. But the creators, they want, what do they want? They want to be able to make less and make more.
Why would I want to spend $80 to play Fable next year when I could use that money to buy 2 Expedition 33s? Doesn't make any sense. You know, the worst part is they need to charge a lot more than $80 because the EU is about to pull the rug right out from underneath these guys. You know what I find interesting? Players aren't yelling anymore, not like they used to. We've been through the same outrage cycle so many times that the tone has shifted. When people are—
That's what I was talking about. Like, I just literally was talking about some bullshit, and then I was just like, oh, where the fuck was I going? Oh, there it is. How these guys like base their opinions, I mean, it's like a lot of things. Um, Obviously they know they probably actually really do not like raising the price of like their products. I legitimately think so, and that the only reason they do it is because of the investors. But it's a trade off of scaring away new players and also driving away like long time players versus creating an environment that a brand new player is just accustomed to. There are people that only know that games were $70. If you can believe that. That's what they think. Games are always $70. They didn't know the time before the internet or the time like 10, 15, 20 years ago where games had to go through this evolution of what do you call it? Like 50, $60 games. Like we've been on the $70 game for a while now. To some people, 70 is the norm. But you have to think like zoom out a little bit. Like what's at least from the perspective of the United States. Look at what is like happening. Like what's one common thing you hear? Most people they're just like choosing to stay single. They're choosing to not have kids. Maybe you get some people that are together, but yeah, they just no, I don't want to have kids. So you see a decline in population for the United States, or not a decline in population, but a decline in like babies being born or something. People just are like, okay, whatever. So off of that, you have to assume that you're not gonna be able to welcome in more new players to the video game industry at the same rate that you could like 10, 15 years ago. So what's going to happen? I would probably say there's like a magic little like part of the graph where they are okay with driving off some players because they think that they're going to acquire new players at like a in some sort of like weird increased rate. But I don't think that increased rate of new player acquisition is going to be as high as they think. They are banking on the fact that the players that remain are like quote unquote like mini whales. They have like some 60, 70 to 80K job even. And they're just like, yeah, there's plenty of those guys to support us. So we're just going to increase the price because those guys, they can withstand and have like a little buffer because they have a stable job. So then that just creates an environment of like more and more people leaving the gaming industry because the price hikes are too high.
People are talking about $80 games or $700 consoles now. It's not anger. It's apathy. The reaction isn't don't do this to us. It's go ahead and destroy yourselves. I think that's where I am with a lot of this right now. I find their missteps to be more entertainment than their games are anymore. The bad games, the price hikes, the censorship, the controversy, sitting back and watching PlayStation continue to chase the live service ghost as Marathon and Arc Raiders drop their alpha tests right next to each other, and the contrast between the two couldn't be any more glaring.
Yeah, like I saw a gameplay for Marathon. That shit looks ass. What the heck is Arc Raiders? I don't even know. What the heck is Arc Raiders? Is this a game? I don't know. Oh, Jack Frags. I don't know. Maybe I'll look at it later or something.
Marathon losing players every single day.
What? Wasn't this an alpha? Yeah, these games aren't gonna do shit. This is I think this was an alpha, no? This is live service slop. And I don't know what's happening with this thing. I don't even know what type of game it is. I see guns, but whatever. I assume this is. I'm just gonna throw a Hail Mary and assume this is also live service slop.
Their alpha was out while Arc Raiders kept growing. One game feeling like it's going to be the next big thing, and the
Oh, maybe I could be wrong. Arc Raiders. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon.
other one feeling like a trend chaser that's trying to fit in with the cool kids. Again, another game being made by a studio with half of the amount of developers. The highest levels of this industry have become so disconnected and so corporatized that they are blind to what players want. They think that our complaints are nothing more than whining. They listen to their board of directors or their sensitivity training.
I mean, it's not really whining. It's a critique. Hey, don't do this. You should do that. That's all it is. But developers, I mean, they take a gamer's opinion like a grain of salt. Nah.
They're more worried about their next earnings call than the customers. We've become the last thing on their minds. And when you ignore us, we start to ignore you. Your games, your platforms, eventually all of it becomes a symbol for everything that people don't want or want to support. So we start going somewhere else. And that's exactly what's happening right now. I mean, the 3 highest player rated games of this year so far are Expedition 33, Blueprints, and Split Fiction. All of them launched at 50.
Top 3 best reviewed games 2025, all 50 or less, made with freely available game engines. All 3 are indies. They're obscure. I never heard of these two. Maybe I'll go look at them.
$50 or less. Split Fiction just passed 4 million copies sold. Expedition 33 hit 2 million copies sold in 2 weeks. Games made with a fraction of the money in a fraction of the time with a fraction of the developers, providing exponentially more creativity and enjoyment. These aren't flukes. These are signals, and they're being ignored. These publishers are still operating like it's 2016, thinking that a massive budget, cinematic trailers, and a big IP is enough to be able to capture everybody's attention.
But it is, though. You see how many well, here's the evidence for that being true. Right here. Come on, YouTube, give me GTA 6 trailer 2. How many millions and billions? Well, there's the evidence right there. 104 million views 6 days ago. This is a little trailer for GTA 6. So the formula works. Gamers are very fickle. They just are.
But markets have changed. Markets do change. Just look at the top games on Steam right now. Most of them are cheap, old, or indie. Outside of Baldur's Gate 3, it's almost impossible to find a...
Thank God Banana got shoved off. CS, Dota, Marvel, PUBG, Bongo Cat. What the fuck is that? Apex. Oh, Banana didn't get shoved off. Fucking Banana, dude. It's literally just one person with a bunch of Steam accounts, like, blasting this number up. Jesus, can we do something about this? BG3, Repo, Rust, ESO, or Elder Scrolls, CAD, Schedule, Source, SDK, and Claire Obscure.
A full-priced game that has cracked the top 10 for longer than a week. That's why these price hikes just don't make any sense to me. A study last year showed that nearly 60% of all playtime was spent in games that are more than 6 years old. The only new titles that have seemed to be able to break through are either free...
Oh yeah, this stat. 6% of playtime in 2023 went to a 6-year-old or older games, new data shows. Yeah. Why would I waste my time with a new game when it's so expensive? I don't want to pay a sub. When I can just go back and play something older that is about the same quality.
Free-to-play, high-effort indie titles that are priced fairly, or massive AAA projects that actually deliver what players are looking for, like Monster Hunter Wilds, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Black Myth Wukong, or Space Marine 2. So while these companies keep tightening their grip, pushing subscription models, raising base prices, and padding every single experience with battle passes and microtransactions, they're missing the bigger picture. The model they're chasing is already collapsing. I mean, take a look at high-budget movies and streaming services right now. The same industries that these guys are trying to emulate are already burning out. Just last year, PC Magazine published a report showing that internet piracy is on the rise again.
Oh, that's hilarious. Internet piracy grows amid glut of streaming services. Enter with the skull pirate emoji.
36% from 2020. Why? Because content is fragmented across multiple services, prices keep going up, and value keeps going down. Does that sound familiar to you guys at all? According to the study, piracy sites received 141 billion visits in the last year alone. That's more than the height of COVID lockdowns. The US leads the charge in piracy traffic, and it's not just movies and television anymore, it's games too. Because when you lock all that content behind 6 different paywalls and continue to raise the prices, well, people don't get mad, they just find another way. So audiences today are either avoiding these products altogether, or they're subverting the system to be able to find them for cheap or for free.
That's hilarious.
Making all these high budget projects nearly impossible to find a profit in. But that's okay, right? Because, I mean, they still have all that microtransaction income to be able to fall back on. Well, I wouldn't be too sure of that. Over the last few months, the European Union has ramped up its efforts to clamp down on what they call predatory monetization practices in gaming, all stemming from complaints about a mobile game called Star Stable Online, but it's quickly ballooned to something much bigger. The EU is now investigating the use of dark patterns, FOMO-driven events, psychological currency obfuscation.
Snoop is in Fortnite? Maybe I'm just like lost, but Snoop Fortnite Remix C2. Weapons and items.
And the lack of return policies for in-game purchases. If these rules go into effect, and there is growing pressure to make this law, it won't just affect mobile games, it will impact everything. And I can already hear the counter argument for this. They'll just make a different version of the game for other regions, but that's not going to happen. That's not how modern global releases work anymore. Look how every gacha game or every RPG now shows its drop rates and its gacha rates, and that's all based on a law from China. It tends to not really be worth the effort or the cost to manage different versions of the game, and plus on top of that, their motivations to make a different version of the game would be so transparent that it would beg litigation. I'm telling you right now, if a return policy becomes mandatory in one region, it's going to be implemented everywhere. And that...
Dang, the return policy for video games. Oh, man. I can't imagine. Well, like... Because, like, what is the polar opposite of that? Like, when that law gets, like, bastardized, like, what's going to happen? Are gamers just going to, like, play games for... like X amount of hours to like beat the game, and then whenever they're done they just return it? Or no, there'd probably be like a little bit of like a bullet points, right? Kind of like Steam, like, oh, you played the game for more than 2 hours, can't return it.
That alone could shatter the very foundation of this entire microtransaction economy. Because these purchases are not made out of value, they are made out of impulse. They are emotional.
Or, oh, wait, for microtransactions. Oh, I bought this microtransaction. I bought this skin for my character. I don't like it. I bought this gun skin for my gun. I don't like it. I want to return it. How does that go? Well, what's wrong with it? Like, going, like, if whenever you return an item to Walmart, what's wrong with it? I don't like it. Give me my money back.
Compulsive, dopamine-driven decisions designed to wear off quickly. That's what they want them to do. And if you give people a few hours to reconsider and refund those purchases, the entire system collapses. And that's not hyperbole. Keep in mind, the biggest publishers in this industry, EA, Take-Two, Microsoft, Sony, Epic, they are all held up by this model. Anything that could disrupt the balance of it would threaten to break the entire thing. Right now, most of the industry's revenue isn't coming from games, it's coming from that ecosystem. Epic has Fortnite, EA has FC, Apex Legends, and Madden. Microsoft has Call of Duty. Nintendo is pulling in billions from the Pokemon titles. And Sony, well, we already know they've been desperately trying to chase live service games for years. But this is the only path they have. This is their only path to growth. This is the only path that investors understand. And without them, they're nothing. In 2025 alone, Microsoft's content and services revenue went up by 8%, not because of great new games that they had released, but because of subscriptions and microtransactions. When they acquired Activision Blizzard in 2023, their overall gaming revenue jumped by 49%. Content and services, meaning reoccurring payments and microtransactions, grew by 61%, consuming the vast majority of their earnings.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to have like that level of growth ever again. Because like I said before, like people have already seen stuff like that happen, And for them to have that level of growth again, they would have to come up with a brand new like model. Something that gamers have never seen before.
If the European Union cracks down on
maybe they should like start charging for bullets or something in Call of Duty. I think that'd be a good idea.
digital currencies and dark patterns, and other countries continue to regulate things like loot boxes and gambling and video games, it's not just going to be a bad quarter, it's going to be a market reset. And most of these companies have nothing of substance to be able to fall back on. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think one of the only reasons that we haven't seen any big moves towards regulation of microtransactions is because of the complete economic collapse that it would cause in the gaming industry. These guys have built their entire businesses around being able to psychologically manipulate their audience and extract as much reoccurring revenue as possible. And they've done it while constantly scaling up their companies to absurd proportions, adding more developers, more marketing, and more money. And they've gotten used to this arrangement. The industry is wildly underregulated, which is exactly why it's grown so fast and attracted so much outside capital.
Yeah, the video game industry is the Wild West of media consumption. Like music, it's like a beaten path. Movies, beaten path. Shows, kind of beaten. I mean, they tried to like make it brand spanking new with like the whole streaming services, but people are so familiar with that now, it's turning into like a beaten path. Video games. What's that saying? The Blade says? Some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate up in here.
But that gold rush is coming to an end, because if consumer protections start forcing these companies to act ethically or even transparently, the entire business model falls apart. And of course, things are only getting worse for these guys, because add to the fact that one of their hidden revenue streams just got unraveled. Ubisoft is currently under legal fire for allegedly harvesting behavioral data through their
secret data collection in single player games. Oh, wow. What did I say earlier? These guys are harvesting your data with the whole Jay and Silent Bob thing. They are literally reading your mind, dude. Ubisoft was just so unfortunate that they got caught. And you think Ubisoft is the only one doing this? They're all doing it, dude. Oh, what kind of microtransactions should we come out with? Oh, I don't know. What did the behavioral statistics say? What kind of shows are popular right now with our target audience? What kind of movies are popular right now with our target audience? What kind of media consumption is our target audience doing? Well, how do we figure that out? Well, we'll do it. Yeah, of course they're doing it. Why do you think Blizzard did that little Berserk collaboration? Because of the same exact thing. Secret data collection. They didn't do it because they thought it was a good idea. They just saw and put two and two together. Oh, a lot of our players like Berserk. Maybe we should, if we put some microtransactions in the game that are centered around Berserk, maybe some people will buy stuff. Yeah.
Online only single player games, and likely their multiplayer games as well. That's why these guys wanted us to be online all the time. Data that they can analyze, sell, and use to manipulate the players, all without ever asking for permission. This is what the modern gaming industry is built on right now. Addiction loops, monetization funnels, data mining, and psychological manipulation that's disguised as entertainment. And now that that's all starting to collapse under regulatory pressure, under consumer fatigue, under the weight of a leaner, smarter, and more successful indie scene, these guys are panicking. They're raising their prices, they're pushing subscriptions even harder, they're throttling features and slapping paywalls on content that used to be free. I mean, it's now rumored that Call of Duty is going to start to paywall their events and gameplay modes.
Call of Duty will be paywalling limited time modes behind Battle Pass. It's claimed, like what? You have to buy the Battle Pass, reach the level, and then you can access the LTM. Oh my god, this is so fucking hilarious, dude. Oh my god. May 4th. And these COD players will still eat this dick salad. They eat it up.
I'm telling you right now, this isn't going to work because the players that used to be there aren't going to be fooled anymore. And the ones that do care have already walked away, and the ones that are still there.
Yeah, I walked away many years ago from COD. Many years ago.
Aren't going to be enough. I think I might have brought this up before, but they keep trying to treat this industry like it's every other industry, which makes a lot of sense because a lot of these CEOs are coming from other places than game.
Yeah, CEOs are like Legos. You take one out, put one in. Take one out, put another one in. They're interchangeable.
But it's just not how this beast is built. It's just not how it works. It's the psychology of the whole thing. It's how people interact with these products. We don't even think of them as products. We think of them as games. We think of them as experiences. We think of them as worlds that we're visiting, as memories that we are having, as memories that we are sharing, ones that we plan on returning to or may return to in the future or whatever it might be. And we play these games. We don't consume them. And that's a completely different interaction than you see in a lot of other industries. And I think that they've lost touch with that. And I think that's more evident by the day, to be honest with you.
Oh, boy.
They left the players behind. They've been making worse games. They've been trying to monetize them even further. And even if they can make a good game, it's likely too expensive for us to buy or it's too expensive for them to make. I mean, look at how high these guys have risen the stakes for themselves. Grand Theft Auto 6 is estimated to be $2 billion in development costs.
Jesus.
That is insane.
Isn't there like another product that is like, what are some other products that have that much development cost? $2 billion that are also just video games or like there's nothing else. Like if I start to include just like things that are non-video games, well then yeah, you can get up there in like development costs. But like song, movie, show, okay, maybe well even shows, no.
You cannot keep up with that. You can't even compete with that.
Yeah.
Effectively, to just make what the AAA industry is supposed to be making in the first place. They have to sell like 30 plus million copies to be able to break even after fees and things like that on other platforms. They can pull that off, but the vast majority of the industry doesn't stand a chance. Are you kidding me? But these are the costs that continue to rise. They keep doing this to themselves. They keep scaling up and scaling out, and they use subscription services and microtransactions to be able to offset that growth and show that perpetual record-breaking growth that they need to show to their shareholders, because most of these CEOs are paid in stock options to begin with that never take pay cuts, by the way, regardless of how many people they lay off or how bad their business does. Notice most of these gaming CEOs never lose their job.
Yeah.
You know, and with these subscription services, I think it's going to be around. I think it's going to stick around, but I don't think it's ever going to be as popular as these companies are hoping it's going to be. They want it to be because it's the best and the most control that they'll ever be able to have over their consumer base, but I just think that people want to have their library. I think they want to have their games that they can go back to. I think they like buying things when they're on sale. People like feeling like they're getting a deal on something. And people just...
Remember this? I'm going to draw a picture. Not everybody still has this. I used to have this, but then I got rid of it. Yellow. Actually, no, let's do this. A big ol' square. Now we got line, line, line. Let's see, how good can I do this? Okay, good enough. We got a box. That is, let me see. Okay, whatever. That's on a platform. Come on. All right. And now we have a shelf. Another shelf. Another shelf. And then in here, you got game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, and so on and so forth. I don't have this anymore because everything is digital. We are already in the era of you will own nothing. It's just, you still have the option to do this like in a physical sense, but we already know that digital sales are increasing and physical sales are decreasing. So it's only a matter of time until it's all digital. All gamers want is to be able to just collect a bunch of games and not even think anything of it, and be able to play them whenever they want. That's it. I want to take this out. I want to put this back. I want to play this, not play that. I don't want to be bothered by microtransaction this, microtransaction that. That's it.
Want their games. Physical copies of games still sell. Expedition 33's physical copies.
Physical copies, yes, but not at the same rate of digital.
Sold out in multiple countries. And with microtransactions, that entire ecosystem is built on psychology, manipulation. They have to manipulate the player to be able to get that money.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is disrupted in any way, if there is legislation against it that gets rid of dark patterns or gets rid of anything, these guys are cooked. They won't stand a chance. You will see companies that you never thought would go out of business overnight. Honestly, I can't wait to watch it all backfire. It has been so much fun to sit back and watch as these indie companies have just been running circles around these guys lately.
Yep.
It has been crazy. The amount of just random out of nowhere developers making tons of money, making games that are incredibly popular and absolutely beloved. It has just been so
it's awesome.
Much fun. And keep in mind, for every copy of Expedition 33 that sells, that's one less copy of Assassin's Creed that gets sold. These companies do directly compete with their games, even though they don't like to compete on their prices in a lot of cases, at least not on the AAA side. But that's how this whole thing.
Yeah, because at the end of the day,
works.
What are they doing? They're competing for your time. You have X amount of time in your life, and so what do you want to do with it? I am going to be picky and choosy on what game I want to put time into. That's it.
So, they hate to see it. They'll act like they're happy to see these guys do well. I was talking to an indie developer the other day, and he had said that because of the direction that the industry is headed in, it has created so many opportunities for these guys to make money, and they are so happy that these guys keep self-sabotaging themselves. He's like, it has never been better to be an indie dev. I told him, you guys are making it where it's never been better to be a gamer.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, like the video, share the video, and come follow me on Twitch. I'll be streaming today, actually. So, yeah. Stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Family, 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 family.
Nice. Yeah, dude. Another W from your boy Legendary Drops. So what do I think? Like, I think AAA is self-sabotaging themselves. Everything that's not AAA, I think they're doing fine and dandy. To want anything more for like a better, what do you call it? Like a better value deal proposition from AAA. It's just, I don't think it's going to happen. It hasn't happened in the past. It will never happen. So, yeah. Great day to be indie dev. Great day to be a gamer. Everything else sucks to suck, buddy. Oh, man. But yeah, another banger from Legendary Drops. But that's it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.